everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Lianne Russo Liddell, Associate Broker and Realtor with Occasio Realty. And today I have the pleasure of talking with Joanna, who is a certified life and weight coach and a clinical hypnotherapist. So Joanna, thank you so much for joining me today. I am excited to talk to you, learn a little bit more about what you do. So let's just dive right in and get to know a little bit more. So tell me a little bit about your business and how you got started.
Hi, Lianne. Well, first of all, it's a delight to be here. And thank you so much for doing the interviews because
Of course.
I watched some of them and now I feel like I know some of the people.
Good. That's the point.
Way of introducing a business. So great job. Well, I'm Joanna and how I got started being a clinical hypnotherapist first and then a life coach is, well, I was over a decade in real estate full time.
Really? Okay.
Yes. But so I went through all of those cycles.
Yep.
Well, I reached a point when speaking about this in a very simple way, it was time for me to leave that industry and start doing something I was really called to do. And so I found, or it found me, the clinical hypnotherapy found me. So as soon as I found some relief from my own, problems and pain, I immediately wanted to help other people to do that
Okay.
same. That drives me all the time, every day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, tell me a little bit about, what happens in life coaching. I feel like it's, kind of a term that gets thrown around a lot. And so to be honest, I don't know that much about it because, I don't feel like, I feel like maybe some people aren't as professional. So I'd love to hear more of your professional take on it and what you do with life coaching.
Sure. Yeah. And it happens in every industry, right? We have different standards in every industry. So I'm learning and growing all the time. But this year was for me, when I started this year, I didn't know what I will go through, what I will learn.
Sure,
so,
of course.
I took this really in-depth training and it changed a lot for me. So what happens in life coaching? Well, how much time do you have? But if I could give you there are so many ways how we can talk about it. But today, I want to say that very often we are driven in life by our primitive brain. And our primitive brain very often gets us into trouble.
Yeah.
And we need this primitive brain still, and it got us to this point. But now the natural tendencies of the brain very often, they backfire. So what we have to do is to use another gift that we received through evolution, which is the neocortex. And when we use the neocortex, we can achieve our goals. And that is happening without the willpower. We can just direct our mind more deliberately to get what we want.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I know, I realize that I'm a little bit abstract here, so let me give you a more specific example.
Okay.
For example, so the primitive brain always wants to preserve energy, seek pleasure, and avoid pain.
Of course.
Well, when we look at weight gain, weight loss, when we avoid difficult feelings, this is when our brain wants to avoid pain. And we always want to reach for something to eat that will spike the dopamine, the pleasure neurotransmitter in the brain. So it would be all fattening things, the flour, sugar.
Yeah, of course. I'm not going to reach for a banana when I have the opportunity to reach for a cookie to get that dopamine rush,
But banana would be natural and the cookie would be the unnatural substance. very addictive, but on top of that, it's very addictive.
Right.
And when we preserve energy, the brain will want to preserve energy. So of course, I'm not going to go and exercise. And when we seek pleasure is when we simply want to always feel good, and that we reach for pleasures that are unnatural and very often false pleasures, like, well, of course, food, shopping, scrolling through social media, and
Yep.
maybe even gambling, right? So we get ourselves to almost soft addictions
Yeah.
because we want to avoid pain and we seek pleasure. So can you see how that creates problem areas for us, right?
Absolutely.
And then this is not really a full expression of our potential.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to be aware, hey, where does it come from? Why do I want to do this? And then look into our potential. So
Mm-hmm.
when I am using my neocortex, I plan, I take responsibility for my emotional well-being.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that I am going to think different thoughts. I'm going to allow my mind to look for positive thoughts instead of going to the outside world, delegating the responsibility to the outside world to bring me a better feeling.
Gotcha. So doing more of that internal
Work.
internal work, internal responsibility, seeking it from within yourself first before something external.
Yeah, so that's
Okay.
actually life coaching is mind management in other words.
Okay.
And in practice, the way it looks is instead of shopping in order to feel good, I am going to feel good first, and then I will go shopping.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, so this is just one of the examples. I could have plenty more, but let's move on.
Okay. I know on your website and through our discussion a little bit earlier, you mentioned that you have been helping some folks with some weight loss, especially during the pandemic. I know I don't know anybody that hasn't gained any weight while they've been at home. So tell me a little bit about how you help that client.
Okay. Well, I have been helping clients with this since the beginning of 2019. So it
Okay.
also happened before. But oh my goodness, what happens in weight loss coaching is so many things can happen. I have like over 50 topics of what happens in weight loss coaching, because I am not going to chase anyone, making sure that they are doing their sit-ups or push-ups. This
Right.
is not help. One of the things that happens in weight loss coaching is that very often people are in the kind of emotional childhood and they look at their coach to, well, show me what to do and
Mm-hmm.
having accountability, which sometimes is also good, right? But what I am teaching people is to be accountable to themselves,
Okay.
to the emotional adulthood, and to
Mm-hmm.
the responsibility, because only then they can feel empowered. People will never feel empowered if they delegate the responsibility to another person.
Sure.
But of course, we talk about nutrition because there is only so much we can do with our thoughts, because you can work on your thoughts all day long, but if you are going to eat food filled with polyunsaturated fats, flour, and sugar, if you are not going to pay attention to your body and to the
Mm-hmm.
sensations, if you are out of touch with yourself, then you are just using willpower and it's not sustainable. It's really draining. And that's why people quit, because
Sure.
they
Of
are
course.
changing
You're
things on,
drained.
yes, they are changing things on the level of actions, the behavior, but they are not looking into the cause of those
Mm-hmm.
actions, which is our feelings.
Right.
And those are driven by our thoughts. The most powerful thing would be our feeling, because this is the reason why we do or not do something. So
Sure.
I help them connect the two and use their mind in a deliberate way so they can make positive choices.
Okay. Very cool. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with me. I feel more enlightened about what the reality of life coaching is. So thank you for that. Tell me a little bit about your goals for the next year.
No, just personally, just wellness. Keep living a healthy, happy life, and have 8 hours of sleep a night. It sounds ambitious, right? But I have to take care of myself in order to to help other people.
Of
To
course.
um, Everything has to be. I have to have inner peace within me, and I have to
Hmm.
manage my mind and body in order to show up fully for the people I'm helping. So,
Okay. That makes
and of
sense.
course, I want to help. I know. I think I was thinking about this, and it really depends. But if I could have 500 transformational conversations this year, or even if I could just make a little bit of dent in their thinking, so they can see that they are limiting themselves and allow them to allow for the limiting beliefs they are living by, lose a grip and
Absolutely.
up to something better, then I would be happy.
Okay. Very cool. Well, I like that. On more of a personal note, Joanna, what are some things that you like to do in the neighborhood or just like to do when you're not working?
Uh, well, I'm always learning something, and this year was really intense. But in the neighborhood, I really don't do much. I just go hiking, walking, and biking. I love biking, and well,
It's nice to be
sometimes
close to the canal, so you can do that and bike around the different neighborhoods. And
sometimes I'm doing like 20, 30 kilometers a day. So I
that's
will go
great.
quite far, but that's my maximum. And, I like some of the restaurants. My favorite was always Dick's Hideaway and Rockery. I don't go there that much anymore, but I almost used to live in Rockery's basement. You know how,
They're wonderful.
yes,
We've done
yeah.
a lot of takeaway from them during this time, so they're very good. Awesome. Um, well, I'm glad you're still able to enjoy those things, even though 2020 has been a year. So I'm glad that you're still able to, enjoy the hiking and the biking and the walking and just kind of getting out and getting some fresh air. Tell me a little bit about what's coming up that you want folks to know about in regards to what you're doing.
Well, really, not a lot of things change in what I do and how I do it. But right now, the new year is coming up, and the new year always has the energy of change and transformation. So
Sure.
what I'm offering right now is kind of a jump start of the positive change for people.
Okay.
So I 6 week of coaching or hypnotherapy, and really in 6 weeks you can make a lot. Normally I just offer the 4 months weight loss coaching or
Hmm.
project creation coaching, but for procrastinators. But right now I really want to offer just the 6 weeks of inner transformation so people can see how much power they really have within themselves.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, that's cool. Well, Joanna, I will definitely link all of your websites and all your social media and your contact information so people can be sure to get in touch with you and hopefully take advantage of your services.
Thank
So
you.
I really appreciate you taking the time. Is there anything else you want to chat about before we sign off here?
Well, I could talk nonstop, so so let's just stop here.
Okay.
And stuff.
What wonderful. Well, everybody, thanks again for watching. I am Lianne Russo Liddell, Associate Broker and Realtor at Occasio Realty, here with Joanna, who is a certified life and weight coach and clinical hypnotherapist. Again, I'll link everything for her below this interview, so please check her out. And thanks so much, Joanna.
Thank you, Lianne. Bye.